Hello everybody! Today I've got another photo critique with 10 pictures from Ulrich. In order to actually critique them and show you what I would do to make them better, I actually imported them into Lightroom, which of course allows me to make the adjustments rather than just say them. So first picture here is a very wide panoramic shot and I definitely do like it. It's very simplistic, but the fact that you have a little boat here on the left makes the left kind of not as empty, and I don't mind the horizon being in the middle either. I think it works really well. Only the right part, I mean, I like that you have this little piece of land here, because once again without that it would be way too empty, but I would at least try to crop it maybe something like this and kind of have these people towards the right, and I don't think you miss too much, but at the end of course it's up to you which you like better. But I would definitely get rid of this border, this white and black border. So then let's go to the next picture, and this is an absolutely amazing photo. I've seen that you actually shot this with the Sony RX100 Mark III, which is insane. That is a compact point and shoot camera with I think a 1-inch sensor, but absolutely amazing picture, and insane what kind of detail you can get out of even just a point and shoot camera. I really love the night sky. I really wonder what these things are. Maybe distant galaxies or quasars. Anyways, I'm not gonna speculate anything. I'm sure you know it better than me. And the only thing here that I think would make it a little bit better is to maybe add a bit of blue. And you know, you don't have to add too much, but like this, it almost looks a bit too warm and too purplish, so maybe just add a little bit of blue. And of course you could go even further and maybe increase the contrast, bring the clarity to the right, and bring up the highlights in the tonal curve to make it pop even a bit more. And I'm just gonna edit like I would do for my own picture, but of course you don't have to do anything like that. I'm just trying to give you another idea, because let's see if that will actually work in a panoramic format just like this, so there's even more emphasis on the actual Milky Way. I mean, there are definitely a lot of things that you could do to make everything stand out even more. You could add vignetting and all of that stuff, but overall, let's just go to your original picture. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing picture, but I would maybe change the editing a little bit. Then another star picture, which I think the color is more kind of towards my liking. But honestly, I think your first picture has a lot more potential, because you have the entire Milky Way or stretching over the entire picture. And here you just have it towards the left. I mean, maybe I would even crop this picture to something like this here. But I mean, yeah, I definitely do like this a bit better. But of course, as in all of these adjustments, at the end it's just you have to decide. I definitely think that these two pictures are really awesome, especially considering you shot these with a point and shoot camera. Then the next one here. I do definitely like the waves, the blue tones, and the clouds in the sky, but I think it might be just a bit too dark. Let me try to bring up the exposure, and yeah, I do think that works quite a bit better. You might want to refine it a little bit with the highlights and the whites and all of that stuff if you would make it brighter, but I would definitely at least suggest you to add a little bit of exposure. Then to the actual picture itself, the horizon is a little bit cricket, but definitely nothing wild. And the only thing that I don't like here is this foreground element. I mean, it's not particularly interesting, nor is it pretty, so I mean, you don't want to really crop it here, because then you're gonna lose way too much in pretty much either direction. But if you could reshoot the exact same scene, then I would definitely make sure that you don't have this thing included right here. But overall, really like the picture, especially with these houses on the cliff right here, really special, and once again the color and the waves are absolutely beautiful. Then the next one right here. I do like the picture, I definitely do like the orange colors and all of the structure. I don't even mind that the foreground is completely black because that way you get even more attention on the actual sunset. But I would at least crop it down so you don't have anything above this cloud, because above this cloud really isn't anything interesting and it is quite distracting from the actual sunset. So I would just crop it something like this, maybe refine it a bit more, and I definitely think it's a much more strong picture because there is so much more attention on the actual city lights and all of this very beautiful color, and also because this cloud is so dark you manage to kind of close out the picture and create some additional vignetting. Yeah, other than that, really nothing I would do. Maybe let's just try out a different crop, but you know, it's a little bit more focused, of course, but at the end I think I even like this a bit better. Once again, I would definitely get rid of this white frame, but other than that, beautiful picture. Then to the next one, I think you've named this, let me see here. I think you've named this, yeah, French flag in the sky. And I mean, it does kinda look like a French flag, but at the end I think it's almost a bit chaotic with all of these clouds, so maybe let me just try out another crop like here. Just a very focused crop like this might even work better. Now, it's a very simplistic crop, but I think this shoreline along with the ocean and the sun in the background is also much more pronounced. It's a little bit more simple, and I think it works a bit better, at least for my taste. Of course, you don't want to crop it in post because then you will end up with a very bad quality, but maybe it's worth to at least try and zoom in a little bit more and see if you like that better. Then let's go to the next one, and come on Lightroom, you can do it, come on. And it didn't render sharp. Great, let's wait. And finally, so even with a JPEG file, Lightroom takes forever, but I think this picture is also a little bit too cluttered because you have so many different branches, so much detail, and all of these reflections and all of that stuff. It really is a bit too much going on, my eye doesn't rest anywhere. If I could suggest you one thing, then that would once again be to go a little bit tighter, zoom a little bit more in, and maybe just try to focus on this tree right here, along with a little bit of the reflection. Now, of course, if you're cropping in post, you once again get very bad quality, but you also don't really have the right angle. You definitely want to make sure that you don't have any distracting elements in the left or in the top, but at the end, I think it's a lot more focused on one subject, my eye has a rest, and it's overall a bit more simplistic. So I think this scene has definitely potential, but how the picture is right now, I think it's just way too much going on. Then this one, I don't like it. Definitely. I mean, the colors are very unnatural looking, you have very deep and very dark shadows, and this tree in the foreground, let me see how this looks in black and white. I mean, in black and white I think it looks 10 times better, but I'm still not sure about this tree because it's not very interesting, you have it kind of cut off, and at the end, at least crop it something like this, so you don't have any distractions towards the right. But overall, don't really like this picture, even in black and white. I think in color it looks terrible, to be honest, but you know, this is an honest critique, so I'm just gonna say what I think, and yeah, definitely your worst picture that I've seen so far. Then this one is actually an amazing photo, look at this. This has definitely a very fine artish touch, and this faded color, this washed out color is really awesome, along with this background being blurred as well as the foreground being blurred. Once again gives it a very fine artish kind of look, and honestly I have to say this is my favorite picture of you so far, maybe along with some of the star pictures, but it's just so simple, so beautiful color, and very simplistic. Absolutely love the picture, wouldn't do a thing to it. And then I think we have the last picture here, and once again kind of a lot of things going on, really all of this texture and structure and things in all of these boats are making everything a bit too much in my opinion, and once again maybe try to get on another place to simplify everything a bit more, or maybe just do some close-up of one boat or of something on the boat with maybe even macro or whatever, but how it is right there, it's really way too much going on, especially in this center part. It's really just a mess. Let me actually try to crop it once again and see if something like that would work. I mean, not really. You have kind of an abstract photo like this with the house reflection along with the reflection of some of these boats, and don't really like it. So these were the 10 pictures from Ulrich. Thank you very much for submitting them. I definitely think a lot of your pictures have great potential and are really strong. Just a few that are kind of too cluttered, too much going on, and I definitely would say for you, even in a great picture like this, maybe try to at least take one photo like this and another one with it kind of being more zoomed in with more attention on a very small part, because oftentimes that can make the whole photo a lot simpler and really concentrate on the best possible elements that you have in your scene. But thank you very much once again for submitting your photos. If you would like to submit your own photos, then be sure to check out this video right here, also a link in the description down below, and there I explain everything on how you can submit your own photos for a critique. So that was it for today. Thank you all very much for watching, and please take care.